Burkina Faso's groundbreaking electric vehicle innovation. Imagine a nation rarely associated with cutting-edge technology, achieving what even the wealthiest countries struggle with. Burkina Faso, without sprawling factories or billion-dollar investments, has unveiled its own electric vehicle, EV, designed, engineered, and built entirely within its borders. This historic achievement is more than a milestone. It's a statement that Africa is ready to innovate and lead. It challenges the outdated notion that only the richest nations can drive technological advancement. But how did Burkina Faso, a country without a major auto industry or deep financial reserves, achieve this? Is this a singular success or the start of something much bigger? Could this spark an industrial revolution across Africa? The electric vehicle revolution, a global shift. Electric vehicles have long been hailed as the future of transportation, with leaders like Tesla, Volkswagen, and BYD dominating the space. Africa, however, has rarely been part of the conversation, until now. Burkina Faso has unveiled a fully homegrown EV, a practical solution designed for African drivers and roads. This isn't just a car, it's a rewrite of the narrative, proving Africa can be a powerhouse of innovation. This achievement is about economic freedom and industrial growth. It shows African nations don't have to rely on expensive imports to move forward. But how did Burkina Faso make this happen? How did a country with no prior experience in auto manufacturing achieve something wealthier nations have struggled with? And what if this is just the beginning? The Journey to Innovation, Burkina Faso story. A few years ago, the idea of Burkina Faso designing and building its own electric car would have seemed impossible. The country has no history in automobile manufacturing, no assembly plants, and no established supply chain for EV components. Yet Burkina Faso has done the unexpected, driven by determination, vision, and a refusal to wait for permission to innovate. At the heart of this revolution is a homegrown startup. Instead of waiting for foreign investors, they designed the car from scratch, collaborated with African suppliers, and engineered a battery system optimized for Burkina Faso's climate and road conditions. This isn't just about transportation, it's about economic freedom. By building an industry from the ground up, Burkina Faso is creating jobs and proving African nations don't have to rely on expensive imports. A shift toward sustainability. This EV represents a bold shift toward sustainability. Instead of spending millions on fuel imports and foreign-made vehicles, Burkina Faso is investing in clean, locally made alternatives. This means lower emissions, less reliance on oil, and more money staying within the country to fund essential services. Remarkably, Burkina Faso is doing this without depending on foreign automakers for assembly or battery technology. By developing its own technology, the country keeps profits within its borders and lays the foundation for future advancements. A blueprint for the future. Burkina Faso's approach mirrors China's strategy in becoming an EV powerhouse. Decades ago, China relied on imports and foreign expertise, but became the world's largest producer of electric vehicles through investment and self-reliance. Could Burkina Faso be on a similar path? The challenge is turning this into more than a one-time success. The real test is building an industry that lasts. Under Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership, Burkina Faso is scaling up production, establishing a supply chain for EV components, and ensuring future models remain high quality and affordable. The ripple effect, a continental shift. If Burkina Faso succeeds in mass-producing its own EVs, it could rewrite its economic future. Currently, like many African nations, Burkina Faso spends billions importing foreign-made cars. If even a fraction of that money stayed in the country, it could fund infrastructure, education, and healthcare while creating thousands of jobs. This breakthrough challenges the idea that Africa is merely a buyer of advanced technology. It's a statement that African nations can innovate, build, and lead. The ripple effect is already starting, with countries like Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa considering similar moves. The road ahead. Challenges and opportunities. Building a single electric car is one thing, scaling up is another. For this vehicle to make a real impact, it needs to be mass-produced, affordable, and backed by a charging network. Can Burkina Faso's locally made EV compete with industry giants like Tesla or Volkswagen? The answer lies in its focus on affordability, durability, and practicality for African drivers. Most EVs are designed for smooth highways and abundant charging stations, which don't reflect African realities. Burkina Faso's EV is built for Africa, with a suspension for rough roads, a battery system for extreme heat, and a durable frame. Its local production eliminates import fees and expensive foreign labor, making it potentially the first affordable EV for African consumers. The charging challenge, a solar-powered solution. One major hurdle is charging infrastructure. Without reliable charging stations, mass EV adoption will be difficult. But Burkina Faso has abundant solar energy. Instead of grid-dependent charging stations, it could create a network of solar-powered charging hubs, making EVs sustainable even in areas with unreliable electricity. If Burkina Faso can ramp up production, keep prices low, and develop a charging infrastructure tailored to Africa's energy landscape, its EV could lead the African market. This isn't just about a car, it's about rewriting the rules. A new era for Africa. For decades, Africa has been seen as a customer in the global market, buying and consuming, while industries were outsourced. Burkina Faso has flipped that script, proving African nations don't have to depend on outside forces to build high-tech industries. This breakthrough isn't just about transportation, it's a blueprint for self-sufficiency. It could spark change in industries far beyond automobiles, inspiring other African nations to take control of their own industries. The bigger picture, a continent on the rise. Burkina Faso's success could impact battery production. Africa is rich in minerals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, but most are exported to factories abroad. By developing its own EV technology, Burkina Faso challenges that model. If the country invests in battery production, it could become West Africa's hub for energy storage technology, reducing reliance on foreign supply chains. The rise of EVs could also drive investment in renewable energy. Africa has some of the highest solar potential in the world, yet large-scale adoption remains limited. If more nations embrace EVs, it could lead to massive investment in solar farms and decentralized energy systems, transforming the energy landscape. Changing mindsets, a cultural shift. Burkina Faso's EV challenges the perception that foreign-made products are superior. If a locally designed, locally built EV can compete with global brands, it proves African nations don't need to rely on foreign companies to produce world-class products. This shift in perception could inspire more homegrown innovation across industries. Other African nations are watching. If multiple countries start producing EVs, it could create a continental shift toward high-tech manufacturing, breaking the cycle of economic dependence. Environmental and economic implications. This shift has major environmental implications. Reducing reliance on gasoline-powered cars could lower emissions, decrease oil dependency, and drive cleaner energy solutions. As the world takes notice, global automakers may have to compete with locally made cars, reshaping the industry. A new chapter for Africa. Burkina Faso's leap into EV production is about breaking free from a system that has kept Africa dependent on foreign manufacturers. By developing its own technology, the country has proven African nations can process their own resources, manufacture their own products, and retain more wealth. If Burkina Faso expands into battery production, it could become West Africa's technology hub, supplying energy storage solutions for vehicles and other industries. This would reduce dependence on global supply chains and create jobs. The future of African innovation. For this movement to take off, charging infrastructure must be addressed. Many parts of Africa struggle with unreliable electricity grids, but this challenge also presents an opportunity. If Africa powers EVs with renewable energy, it could create a more sustainable and independent energy future. The rise of EVs will also create demand for skilled workers. Universities and training centers will need to adapt, equipping students with the skills to lead in technology and manufacturing. Over time, this will position Africa as a serious competitor in global innovation. A cultural and economic transformation. Burkina Faso's EV is shattering the perception that the best products come from outside Africa. The continent has the talent, resources, and drive to innovate on its own terms. Other nations, like Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa, are already exploring EV production. Burkina Faso's success could be the push they need to go all in, changing Africa's economic future. This breakthrough isn't just about transportation. It's a blueprint for self-sufficiency, a spark that could ignite change across industries. It's a new chapter for Africa, one where the continent isn't just a consumer, but a leader in innovation. Burkina Faso's leap into EV production is more than just a milestone. It's a wake-up call to the world. This is proof that Africa can lead in cutting-edge technology, sustainability, and economic independence. But this is just the beginning. The future of African innovation depends on bold thinkers, local investment, and global support. Will you be part of this transformation? Spread the word. Share the story. Support African innovation and sustainability. Stay informed. Follow for more groundbreaking updates. The revolution has begun. Are you ready?